Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Did a video this morning about Humza Yousaf and his amazing new wonder plan that would basically mean that every vote would be giving him a mandate for a referendum or a mandate for independence, and even claiming even if he only won a third of the seats at the Scottish Parliament or a third of the seats, of the Scottish seats in the general election, that would be enough to give him that mandate to go for independence. The man is a buffoon. But he's not that much of a buffoon, because this was the plan he came up with yesterday. It has been one day, and he's already backtracking on it and admitting it won't work. What a great thinker this guy is. It's taken him a whole day to work that out. Mind like quicksilver, Humza. Anyway, we'll take a look at this article to see why the man should have realised this straight away, and that he is actually an idiot. Here goes. So Humza Yousaf appears to admit that his one-day-old indie plan won't work. Well, of course, we knew straight away when I did the video the first thing this morning. We knew straight away it wasn't going to work. It couldn't possibly work because it was relying on something that Humza Yousaf wasn't going to get. Permission. Anyway, Humza Yousaf has appeared to concede his new plan to secure independence won't pursue... Humza Yousaf has appeared to concede his new plan to secure independence won't persuade the UK government just a day after launching it. The First Minister said he was under no illusion that Westminster will continue to deny us, and so his party has to keep working day in, day out on building support for a yes vote. I think the people of Scotland would prefer that you were working day in, day out to sort out the cost of living crisis, the NHS crisis, the transport crisis, the social care crisis, the poverty crisis, the education crisis. You know, all the crises that your government has caused. The SNP leader also admitted the oncoming general election would be, and he uses the word, difficult and tough. But he was still confident he could win it because he is delusional. He hasn't got a chance in hell. And difficult is an understatement. He is going to get at least half his seats whipped away. Mr Yousaf told the SNP Independence Convention in Dundee yesterday that he would regard victory at the election as a mandate for independence. But he didn't say, as I said earlier, he didn't say what he defined victory as. Victory has many fathers and defeat has none. He said he would seek negotiations with London on either a second referendum or moving straight to independence talks if the SNP returned a majority of Scotland's MPs. And he said that the approach differed from previous elections in which the SNP said a win would mean a cast iron or triple lock mandate, as it was more direct and explicit. No, it's not explicit. It's explicitly not what you're saying. You cannot demand anything. You can request, and then the request will be denied. No Prime Minister, no Prime Minister at all will ever be the one that allows the breakup of the United Kingdom. It's as simple as that. If at some point in maybe 10 or 15, maybe 20 years, you get another referendum, that would be a different matter. That would be the people of Scotland speaking. No Prime Minister is going to do it. And certainly, even if you had another referendum in, say, 2015, 15 or 20 years, the people of Scotland still won't vote for it because the vast majority of them are not morons. He seems to think the people of Scotland, when given the opportunity to be independent, will definitely go with it, even though the majority don't vote for the SNP and the majority voted for the Union. And every poll shows the majority want to stay. What guy? I don't know what this guy's on. Anyway, under Mr Yousaf's scheme, and this is where it all falls down, of course. Under Mr Yousaf's scheme, he could claim a mandate on less than 40% of the votes cast, provided he won 29 of the 57 seats, currently being updated by a boundary review. So he could basically win just over half the seats, but do so on 40% of the votes, and then claim that that's a mandate. 40% is not the mandate. And if you can't work that one out, there's no hope. Now, Nicola Sturgeon's now abandoned plan for using the election as a de facto referendum envisaged a threshold of 50% plus one of votes cast for all yes parties. That is never going to happen. The SNP won most of Scotland's Westminster seats in 2015, 2017 and 2019, but the UK government refused to accept that there was a mandate to revisit the no vote of 2014. And do you think things are going to change? Answers on a postcard to Mr Humza Yousaf, Butte House. Honest to heavens, to Betsy, he is never ever going to get it through his thick skull. However, appearing on BBC Scotland's Sunday show, Mr Yousaf was reminded that his predecessor had gone to Westminster with the same mandate and was turned down. Host Martin Geisler said, "If you want to see what happens in the future, look to the past. Your predecessors have gone with precisely this argument to Westminster before and said, give us a referendum. They have said, no, forget about it. What do you think they'll say to you if you go to them with the same proposition this time? What do you think the response will be?" Well, we know what the response will be. The response will be, no, go away. Yousaf replied, "I am under no illusion that Westminster will still continue and does continue to deny us. And that's why, of course, the core of my speech to the activists was that we must never stop doing what we are doing, what we are working for on a day-to-day, week-in, week-out basis." He said, "It's growing the popular support for independence." It's not growing. You've been doing this for nearly 100 years and it is not growing. Do you not understand? If you keep doing the same things but expect different results, that is a sign of madness. He said it is the power of the people that will break Westminster's intransigence. Yes, the power of the people. And if you want to call that, okay, we want the power of the people, we want the people's voice, the people will decide. The people have decided. They said no. What is wrong with you? He said, we got that. He said, let's just think about how we got our Scottish Parliament. That Parliament has now become the beating heart of our democracy here in Scotland. Hardly democratic, is it? Anyway, he says, we got that despite Westminster governments, successive UK governments denying us that Parliament through the power of the people. Yes, but you eventually got it because Tony Blair got carried away and drunk with power. Anyway, he said, we must continue for those that believe in independence. Well, what about those who don't? What about those who believe in the union? Why aren't you standing up for what they want? Anyway, he says he wants to grow our support so it becomes a consistent majority of the people. The consistent will of the people of Scotland. Well, the consistent will of the people of Scotland is for a union. Accept that, get on and do your day job. Sort out all those things I mentioned earlier. All those areas where you have completely screwed the country. Sort them out and then come back and revisit independence. Show people that you can run a country. Show people that the NHS is safe in your hands. Show people that transport is safe. Show people that education is booming. Show people these things and then ask them for independence. Don't destroy the country because of your single-minded push for independence. And while you're doing it, everything falls apart beside you. That's why you're not getting independence, because you're not doing your day job. It's simple. Go and do your day job. And I'm coming up. It's always refreshing to see people learning, isn't it? One day that policy lasted. He stood in front of his very small crowd in Dundee and he said, I have a plan. It's an old plan. It's Nicola's old plan. We're going to regurgitate it. We're going to dress it up. We're going to put baubles on it. We're going to put a bit of tinsel on it. And we're going to call it a new plan. And it's going to be exactly the same as the last plan that failed the previous 3 times. But we're going to make sure it fails a 4th time. And he came to that stunning realisation 24 hours after he told everyone that this was the new plan. It's no wonder, is it? It's no wonder the country's in such a mess when you've got people this stupid running things. All they can think of is independence, independence, independence. They can't think run a health service. They can't let's get the education levels up. They can't think social care. Nothing. Just independence. Independence first, last, always. And they haven't got any bright ideas about it, have they? Talk about flogging a dead horse. Anyway, I shall round up there. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and think of things after a day and realise that they're stupid. Poor old Humza. Bye.